You wake up in a stone cell barely wide enough to stretch your arms. The ceiling is low. The walls are damp. There is a wooden cot with a straw mattress and a wool blanket that smells like the last man who slept here. You do not know what happened to him. There is a clay pot in the corner for a toilet. There is no window. The only light comes from the corridor outside, where an oil lamp flickers against stone that has absorbed the sweat of 1,000 men who came before you. You are inside the Ludus Magnus, the largest gladiator training school in Rome. It sits 50 meters from the Colosseum, connected to the arena by an underground tunnel. The building has its own miniature amphitheater for sparring, rows of these identical cells, a communal bath, an infirmary, and one exit door. 1. It faces the arena. You are not a guest here. You are property. The man who owns this school is called a lanista, and he paid good money for you, either at a slave auction, or from a judge who sentenced you to the arena, or from a military commander who sold you after a campaign. The lanista does not care about your name. He cares about your return on investment. You will either earn him money in the arena, or you will die trying, and either way, his books balance. A bell sounds in the corridor. It is not yet dawn. You have 10 minutes to use the clay pot, splash water on your face from a basin at the end of the hall, and report to the training yard. Breakfast is a bowl of barley porridge, dense, unsalted, lukewarm. There are boiled beans mixed in, fava beans, soft and starchy. This is what you eat every morning, every afternoon, most evenings. Pliny the Elder called gladiators hordearii, barley men, because of how much of it they consumed. The diet is not designed to make you lean and muscular. It is designed to make you fat. The physicians who oversee your nutrition, yes, there are physicians, understand that a layer of subcutaneous fat across your chest and arms and stomach absorbs shallow blade cuts without exposing the muscle and nerve beneath. A lean gladiator bleeds more. A fat gladiator bleeds less. You are being fed like livestock because you are, in every functional sense, livestock with a sword. You finish the porridge. You scrape the bowl. You walk into the training yard and the day begins to hurt. The yard is sand, open to the sky. Tiered wooden benches ring the edges. The Ludus Magnus has seating for 3,000 spectators, and members of the Roman public come to watch you train the way you might watch a team practice before a game. You are entertainment before you are even entertainment. A doctore stands at the center of the yard. He is a retired gladiator. The scars on his forearms and neck are a map of every mistake he made and survived. He does not smile. He has not smiled in your presence, and you suspect he may not be capable of it. He hands you a rudis, a wooden training sword. It is weighted with lead to be twice as heavy as a real blade. You also receive a wooden shield, also weighted. The extra weight is deliberate. When you finally hold real equipment, it will feel impossibly light. Your arms will be faster than your brain expects. That is the theory. Right now, the theory is irrelevant because your shoulders are burning and you have been swinging for 8 minutes. You do not spar against another gladiator. Not yet. You spar against a palus, a wooden post driven into the sand. You strike it again. You advance, retreat, pivot, strike. The doctor corrects your footwork by hitting the back of your ankle with a cane. You adjust. He hits the other ankle. You adjust again. This continues for 2 hours. By the end of the first hour, blisters have formed on your palms. By the end of the second hour, the blisters have torn open and the wooden grip is slick with fluid. You do not stop. Stopping is not offered as an option. After the palus drill, you run, not on a track, around the perimeter of the yard, in full equipment, in sand, under a sun that has cleared the walls and is now pressing directly onto the back of your neck. Roman sand training is the reason your calves will ache in places you did not know calves could ache. Sand absorbs force. Every step requires 30% more energy than hard ground. You run until the doctor tells you to stop. He does not tell you to stop for a long time. Midday, you sit on a stone bench in the shade of the colonnade and eat. Barley again. Beans again. A handful of dried figs. A cup of water mixed with vinegar. The Romans called it posca, and it was the standard hydration drink for soldiers and fighters. It tastes the way it sounds. You have 30 minutes. Your arms are shaking. Your palms are raw. Your ankles are bruised from the cane. A man sitting next to you has a scar that runs from his left ear to his collarbone. He eats his porridge in silence. He does not look at you. You are new. New men die first. After the meal, the real training begins. You are assigned a gladiator type based on your body. You did not choose this. The lanista chose it for you based on your height, your reach, your weight, and what the crowd has been requesting. If you are tall and heavy, you may become a murmillo, a heavy fighter with a large rectangular shield, an iron helmet with a fish-crested ridge, a metal greave on your left leg, and a short sword called a gladius. Your job is to absorb punishment and counter. If you are lean and fast, you may become a retiarius, a net fighter with no helmet, no shield, a weighted net in your left hand, and a trident in your right. Your job is to stay alive long enough to entangle your opponent and stab him while he is tangled. The retiarius is the most exposed fighter in the arena. He is also the most despised. The crowd considers him less than a real gladiator because he runs instead of standing his ground. You are paired with another trainee for controlled sparring. The wooden swords hurt. A clean hit to the ribs leaves a welt that will darken by evening. A strike to the forearm numbs your hand for minutes. The doctor watches. He is looking for two things: whether you can take a hit without panicking, and whether you can hit back while afraid. Most men can do one. Almost no one can do both on the first day. You cannot do both on the first day. Late afternoon. You are allowed to bathe. The Ludus has a proper bath complex, cold, warm, and hot pools, because damaged goods sell poorly, and a gladiator with infected blisters or untreated bruises is damaged goods. A physician inspects your hands. He applies a salve of animal fat and herbs. He wraps your palms in linen. He does this the way a mechanic repairs a machine. He is maintaining an asset. After the bath, you are given a drink. It is chalky and gray. It tastes like wet ash because it is wet ash, bone ash and plant ash dissolved in water. This is a calcium supplement. Analysis of gladiator bones found in a burial site in Ephesus confirms abnormally high levels of calcium and strontium, consistent with regular consumption of mineral-rich ash tonics. Your bones are being fortified for impact. They are preparing your skeleton to absorb blows that will come from iron weapons swung by men who have been eating barley and hitting wooden posts for years longer than you. Evening. You eat barley, beans, a piece of hard cheese. You are walked back to your cell. The door is closed. It locks from the outside. You lie on the straw mattress and stare at the stone ceiling, and your body catalogues its complaints. Your palms throb inside the linen wraps. Your shoulders ache from the weighted sword. Your calves burn from the sand. Your ribs have a welt the size of a fist, where the sparring partner caught you on a pivot you were too slow to complete. Your ankles are bruised from the doctor's cane. You are exhausted in a way that goes deeper than muscles. It reaches into something structural, something that feels like the frame of your body has been tested and found barely adequate. Tomorrow will be the same. The palus, the sand, the weighted sword, the porridge, the ash drink, the cane on your ankles, and the day after that, and the day after that, for weeks, for months, until the lanista decides you are ready. And on that day, You will walk through the tunnel that connects the Ludus to the Colosseum, and you will step onto sand that is raked smooth over the stains of the man who fought before you, and 50,000 Romans will be screaming, and across the arena a man you have never met will be holding a real sword and looking at you the way the doctor looked at the wooden post. And you will understand, in that moment, what the barley and the beans and the ash and the weighted sword and the cane and the sand were all for. They were not training you to fight. They were training you to stand still while someone tries to kill you and not run. Because running is the one thing a gladiator cannot do. The arena has no exits. The tunnel behind you is locked. The walls are 15 feet high and lined with archers. The only way out is through the man in front of you, or through the emperor's thumb. And you who could not finish the porridge, who dropped the weighted sword after 90 minutes, whose blisters opened before noon, and whose legs gave out in the sand before the doctor said stop, you would not make it to that tunnel. You would not survive the training, let alone the arena. You would not survive a day. The doctor knew it the moment he looked at your hand.